From getting creative mode blocks in survival to a way to make your farms 10 times faster, here are 231 genius Minecraft facts you didn't know about. Axolotls are amazing, but can you trust them? A secret message was found in Minecraft's release notes saying, the axolotls are not what they seem. One can only imagine what sinister secrets those adorable axolotls are hiding. Finding a large diamond vein is great. What's even crazier is a maximum diamond vein. It's a whopping 48 diamonds. This only happens when the max diamond vein in a chunk connects to 4 other chunks at the same time. Unlike regular skeletons, nether skeletons don't have bows. But if they did, the bow would shoot fire. And there's already plenty of that in the nether already. Talking about mobs, there's tons in Minecraft. But did you know this mob was actually changed into an item? That mob is the humble sign. Yes, originally it was classed as a mob, which could only be spawned by pressing B, and only had a pre-written message on it. Don't try to raid a baby strider! As even if you use a command to tame a baby strider and have a saddle on it, the moment you ride it into lava, you'll catch on fire! The baby is just too small to protect you from it. Did you know that Steve wasn't always called Steve? He actually didn't have a name at first, and they had to scramble to come up with one when they agreed to have him show up in the indie game Super Meat Boy. This special secret about iron could save your home, because it turns out an iron chain has the same resistance against explosions as a full iron block, despite being made with way less materials. Put them in your walls and you've got a fortress. Stock up on boats so you can cross any body of lava, including lava columns. If you put a boat into the lava, you have a split second to jump off it before it breaks. Leap forward and put another boat down to continue across the lava, until finally you reach your friend's base. Did you know you can actually do a super jump with just a flint and steel? Set fire to a block and jump into the fire. Jump again as you take damage, and the impact will propel you a little higher, letting you jump 2 and sometimes 3 blocks high. No fence can stand in your way. Disguise yourself in deceptive Minecraft skins. Some of these are banned in many servers, but if you dress to look like the blocks the base is made of, you can blend in and sneak in behind your friends as they walk through the front door. Spawn a wither to help you break in. The wither's attacks can destroy almost any block in Minecraft. So lure it to your friend's base and watch it make massive holes even in obsidian walls. Jump in and take their stuff. We all know the trident is the most useless weapon in the entire game, but they actually have a secret use only pro players know. If you charge up a riptide trident underwater with a sword in your hand, you'll turn into a supercharged torpedo that can kill almost any sea creature. And if you've got an elytra, try taking to the skies while it's raining and using the same trick to literally become a missile that destroys any mobs above ground too. Gas tiers can be super annoying to collect. I don't think I've ever fought a gas that wasn't over a giant lava pit. That's why the best players bring a fishing rod to the nether that they can use to pull mobs back over dry land to take out with a sword. This doesn't just work for gas either. You can stop these pesky blazes from getting away, and it even lets you get sick kills on piglins. That'll teach him for stealing my gold. Enchanting can be really annoying when the bottom slot just shows up with them breaking or an enchant you just don't want. But you can fix it with a wooden shovel. Turns out it's true. If you enchant any useless tool at level 1, it'll re-roll the entire set of enchants, letting you make the perfect set of gear. You've heard of going above bedrock, but what about below it? In an older version of Minecraft, you could phase through the bottom layer of bedrock by placing a boat on the thinnest part of the water. Okay, this was a horrible idea, Dad! I wish I could unsee the flower textures forever. Mojang decided to curse my eyes by using 2D sprites for all potted plants and not making them 3D. This almost feels as wrong as mining diamonds with a stone pickaxe.
Where the the diamonds?
Being able to place floating lava should be a war crime. However, by using 7 slime blocks, 5 sticky pistons, 4 redstone blocks, and 4 obsidian, you can set up this machine that lets you place floating lava blocks. The best part is, this isn't even limited to lava. You can do the same thing with water. For a long time, Mojang were experimenting with adding crocodiles and alligators to the game. These mobs would have brought with them items that could be turned into armor, weapons, and fashion accessories. However, since Mojang has now taken such a big stance on not adding real animals to Minecraft, they decided to bench this idea, thankfully. There is one animal that has become very famous over the last couple of years that Mojang refuses to add to the game. This is the capybara, an adorable little friend that could have made for an amazing traveling companion, or even just a friend to welcome you home after your mining expedition. Please, Mojang, add the cappies. Why do we have pyramids in Minecraft, but we do not have a mummy mob? Well, that is actually for a very very good reason. When Mojang first added pyramids to Minecraft, they considered what mobs they could add to enhance the feeling of walking through a pyramid, but they could not settle on a good mummy design. And as such, they decided it would be best to add in the husk instead. Almost every animal in Minecraft has a baby variant. Cats have kittens, sheep have lambs, bees have, well, smaller bees. But one animal we will never get the baby variant of is a dolphin. For a short while, it appeared we were going to get baby dolphins as they appeared on Bedrock. But it turns out this was just a bug that was quickly patched. Give us the baby dolphins! Ever wanted to play Minecraft in Minecraft? That takes too much redstone, but this hack looks great. Make a desk with a pressure plate on top, put a painting behind it, blocking off the sides so it stays small, and put a button on the side to look like a mouse. Put a chair in front and you'll look like you're actually gaming. Hey wait, they're cheating! Bunch of hackers! This sucks! Ah! Don't trust these iron golems. One wrong move and they'll slap you silly. Instead, make one that will never turn on you using anvils, a cauldron, a dispenser for a face, some stone fencing, and wood fencing for a wicked axe. Those iron golems wish they could have a sick axe. Those ugly beasts. Wait, I was kidding! How about throwing a pizza party? Picture frames holding campfires look like pizza slices. The actual pizza box is 2 trapdoors, one over a 2-block pit with 3 layers of snow. Put an armor stand on that with a pumpkin head and drop it through the trapdoor, and the top of the pumpkin will peek out. Add a bunch of different angles and you've got a kind of round pizza. Now you can distract the golems with pizza and they won't attack anyone. You can make a real working chair that looks totally seamless. Put a minecart built above a chest in the ground. Break the block above to let the cart drop out of the chest. Next, add a wooden slab and push it into the cart with a piston. Then build the rest of the chair around it. Wait, someone messed with this chair. Are those rails? Ah! Everyone knows playing chess makes you look super smart. So, make a chess set by pushing 4 armor stands into the same pit, putting chainmail helmets on them, and pushing a smooth quartz slab in from above. Black and white candles look like chess pieces to complete the set. Who wants a game? I'm super good. I even know that these guys are called horsies. Wait, is that Magnus Carlsen? Ah! Ever wanted to create a nuclear bomb? Well, you're in luck. All you gotta do is place a rail and stack multiple TNT minecarts on top of each other. This glitches the game and creates an insane amount of explosive power. Just don't touch it, or you'll probably end an entire race of villager. When thinking of unbreakable Minecraft blocks, Bedrock is probably first to come to mind. You can't break Bedrock with lava, TNT, or even a literal nuke. So would it surprise you that all it really takes is snow? In 1.17, if you place a cauldron and fill it up with powdered snow, then place a block above it and click the cauldron, it just disappears. Wow, nice job, Mojang. The Wither can't swim, making it impossible to spawn them underwater. However, there's a catch. If you swim to the bottom of the ocean and build a little bunker, you can spawn the Wither boss at the bottom of the ocean. And when released, it will kind of just stay in the ocean like a weird fish. So hey, if you want an invincible 3-headed fish that does nothing, you know what to do. Minecraft's biggest problem is that the Ender Dragon doesn't look like a dragon at all. So we're gonna be fixing that with Ender Dragon Revamped. This texture pack transforms him from a harmless lizard to an actual terrifying dragon. Combine this with these enhanced boss bars and your pants are gonna be going from blue to brown real quick. Someone help! There's hot singles in my area! If you want to have the same problem as me, this pack allows you to change that awful, boring message as you go to bed.
You can't sleep yet. There are monsters nearby.
Get out of here! Looking at the textures for crops and flowers makes me want to throw up. I mean, why even use sprites and 2D models in 2024? Instead, Mojang should have taken a page out of 3D Tomatoes' book. Not only does this pack use much better models, you can even see the tomatoes at each stage of their growth. The villagers are hiding a secret. They're actually super fast. Don't believe me? Well, it only happens during nightfall when they're under attack. Their top speed is actually faster than a player sprinting. I didn't know Usain Bolt was white. Mojang put a secret that's hiding in plain sight. See? This end crystal actually has a secret message written on it. It's the word Mojang. It's a fact that game updates can reverse soul changes, but in early Minecraft development, this happened a lot. At one point, they stopped leaves disappearing when the trees were cut down, then changed it back to disappear, then stopped it again, and then again changed it to disappear. A cool secret your friends won't know is that while witches can fight each other, they might never win. Their healing potion is more than their damage, so you can put them in a glass box and set them up as a permanent display. Use their XP farms against them. If it looks like this, then the bottom of the farm will often end up inside their base because it's more convenient for them. Climb into the top of the XP farm. It'll be funneled down to the bottom, and you can break out into the heart of their base. This pig can walk through walls. If you ride a pig up to the wall of the base and then get off it, you can hit the pig, and the brief damage reaction will nudge the pig a tiny bit into the wall. Quickly ride the pig, and it will continue going forward, letting you ride right through the wall. Don't worry about punching your pig either. Just means free bacon in your friend's house. What if the base is hidden or has a secret entrance you just can't figure out? If you know the general area the base is, just eat a chorus fruit. It can teleport you to some crazy places, including through solid walls, ignoring the secret entrance completely. One of the most common items you can get in ruined portal chests are these seemingly useless fortune gold pickaxes. This thing will break after like 3 iron ore. What's the point? Well, if you're in the smartest 0.5%, you'll know that pickaxes don't break when destroying crops, so you can use the fortune enchant to get extra resources from your farm for free. How many times have you tried leaving an animal pen just for all of the mobs to follow you out and escape through the gate? Well, I have a fix! You can use an L-shaped layout like this, a wall block or a carpet to create exits that only the player can use. The best part is that it means I don't have to remember how to craft those stupid fence gates! Spyglasses aren't that useful on their own, but if you use Optifine, you can use that as well to get a super zoom! Hitting F1 will remove that annoying overlay too. Ever wanted to learn how to become invincible in Minecraft without armor? If you eat a god apple and then a regular golden apple straight after, you'll keep some of the absorption even after the effect wears off. This means you can repeat this as much as you want to gain literally hundreds of hearts. It doesn't come cheap, but come on, only the top 0.1% smartest people know this. You're rich anyway! You know how you need 2 water buckets to create an infinite water source? Well, you know nothing! Sorry, that was me. But seriously, you only need 1 now as long as you have either kelp or a cauldron. Using this setup, you can place kelp here to magically create 2 new sources, and you can use water bottles to fill a cauldron and conjure another bucket full. Setting up a farm for food can be super difficult early game, but there's a hidden cheat code only 1% of people know. If you're brave enough to challenge the nether and make a run to a soul sand valley, you can farm the fossils for tons of bone meal you can bring back with you for a head start on all your farming needs. Rails are one of the best things Mojang added to the game, but we can make them even better by simply putting a trapdoor below them, which makes it so they can float in midair. Pair this up with a contraption like the one shown to get minecarts with infinite momentum, and you can quite literally have the most illegal railway in the game. You should always have a hoe that is enchanted with Fortune 3 when farming, which will allow you to quite literally triple the rate at which you can get food. For example, you can get up to 9 melon slices for each melon block farmed. This enchantment is so broken. Bone meal is one of the most important resources you need in order to get rich fast, and in the Cherry Grove biome, you can get a huge amount of it in just a few minutes. To do so, quickly harvest all the pink petals you see, or you can be even faster and use a water bucket and place the water like this to get a huge flow. Give me all those petals! Chickens are already in Minecraft, and they are fine. But we want yet another feather friend added to the game, as once upon a time, Mojang were toying around with adding ducks into Minecraft. Ducks would have been an aquatic reskin of chickens that could swim, lay eggs, and occasionally give duck feathers. Unfortunately though, Mojang thought that ducks were not a great mob to be added. Ah, duck! Excuse my language. Did you know that you can tame and ride a mob in nearly every biome? Horses can be used in just about any overworld biome. The Strider is the same within the Nether, and I suppose you can use a pig in either, if you're not in a hurry. But there is only one overworld biome that you cannot tame and ride a mob in yet, and that is, of course, the ocean, and this is for a very specific reason. Once upon a time, Mojang wanted to make dolphins tameable and rideable, and this was also going to be used to make underwater drowned jockeys where you would have saved the dolphin from its fate. However, this idea clearly was not enough for Mojang, as it was scrapped. One of the most terrifying animals from the deep blue is, of course, sharks, and people have been begging for sharks in Minecraft for years. However, their absence has been explained a lot by Mojang. Since Mojang do not want sharks to be entirely hostile, they would be passive until attacked, meaning that to get attacked by a shark, you would have to go looking for one. Mojang was reluctant to teach its player base to go looking for sharks in real life, and in order to maintain their age ratings across the world, they would not add in shark hunting to the game. Mojang has said they would never add this mob. However, once upon a time, they said the horse would not be added. So one day maybe. The Elder Guardian is a little bit underwhelming, and that is why this next mob has been requested a lot by the fans. To give some context, when the Elder Guardian was added, people were surprised at how easy the boss actually was. People were hoping that it would be a boss akin to the Wither or Ender Dragon, and that is why the ocean needs a new boss. The ideal candidate for this is, of course, the Kraken, a deep-sea squid that would attack players with its giant tentacles. And your spoils of war would, of course, be some delicious calamari.
Yummy.
Make sea mines to protect yourself from the drown. Just use a waxed copper block, lightning rods, and a chain to the sea floor, and your mine is complete. They don't actually work though, so maybe I should have brought a sword. Have you ever run away from an army of mobs and gotten completely lost? These handy signs can point you right where you need to go. They're made using a picture frame with stairs held in it. You turn the stairs to point where you need it, then put a sign on top and right where the sign is pointing. This doesn't help me though, because I don't know where I am. I've found the legendary sword in the stone, Excalibur. Just dispense an armor stand, build stone above it, and put a lightning rod on that. Use a piston to push it down twice into the stand. And now the rod and stand are sticking out of the rock like a sword. Now if I pull it out, I shall be king of Minecraft. You can make working cannons. This hack is built on a wooden frame like a real cannon. It has a stone body leading up to a dispenser and observer. Fill it with fire charges and you can defend the castle with fire. I'm the real king of Minecraft. Ever wanted to play soccer in Minecraft? Make goalposts with quartz and make the net with spider webs. And you can make this even better by using a command to import a soccer ball using a Minecraft head. Unfortunately, you can't kick this ball. This game is gonna take a while. Did you know you can break Minecraft by predicting exactly where lightning strikes land? Well, most lightning strikes are spontaneous. If you load specific chunks at the right time, that's discovered by a group called the Prototech server, you can actually predict and direct lightning strikes. This is extremely useful, making it really easy for you to farm OP mobs, such as skeleton horsemen. From there, you can collect all their loot and end up a rich man. You can also just farm your friends, which is another really good option. Feel free to add their dogs to spice things up a little. If you've ever been to a village, you'd know pillagers absolutely hate villagers. I mean, like, Mojang literally coded them to find and murder their babies. But you can actually use this to break Minecraft, as pillagers are programmed to be very dumb. Very. If you put a villager in a minecart and have him circle around on a railroad, a pillager will forever go in circles, never able to reach him. Imagine bullying villagers. Losers. Wait! Minecraft seeds are randomly generated, meaning you could find entirely different kinds of structures depending on which world you spawn in. Normally, a good seed starts with spawning near a village or you finding yourself close to a desert temple. However, the best kind of seeds are the ones that absolutely defy all types of Minecraft logic, having weird lava structures like this or a literal glitched ender portal. These seeds completely break and defy every rule of Minecraft. So if you want to break Minecraft, try loading up one of these seeds. They'll give you a good excuse to blow up your friend's base. And their dogs. Don't forget the dogs. Hey, what are you doing? It was a Minecraft seed! That doesn't even make any sense! This is a Minecraft Trails and Tales trailer. And this is normal Minecraft. Yeah, this sucks. But we can fix this by using the Bare Bones pack. This just seems to bring everything to life, and we can make it even better by using the nostalgia shaders. I guess I won't be needing to bleach my eyes now. But there's one more pack that we can add to make this even better than the trailer. I'm talking about Simple Hotbar, which changes all the vanilla hunger bars, hearts, and even the UI boxes. Moving on to one of Minecraft's most important items, cakes! According to the way cake disappears in the game, it's clear that good old Steve is eating it vertically. This is clearly game-breaking and ruins my immersion. Mojang should have used better cake slices instead, which makes the cake disappear chunk by chunk instead. Finally, the game is playable! One of the most poor decisions was to make every single enchantment book look the same. Look at all these books! I bet you can't even tell the difference. However, using visual enchantments not only adds these sick animations to each book, but it also applies the same animations to whatever you enchant. Now this is something that should have been in the game for years. In the 1.6 update of Minecraft, they added horses, and it turns out this was brought in from an unofficial fan mod. Mojang saw Dr. Zark's Mo Creatures mod, and even copied the horse model itself. Wandering traders look great, but what your friends don't know is that you can breed their llamas, and the babies will keep the clothes of their parents. It's a weird little detail, but you can make a whole army of fashionable llama. Mojang love making secret references to other games, such as when an evoker sees a blue sheep. The evoker casts a unique spell, makes a weird wololo sound, and turns a sheep red. It's a reference to Age of Empires, where monks would convert enemies to their side, chanting wololo and changing their color. In snowy areas, some bases will have secret entrances covered with powdered snow. Wait until night, and if you see some snow on a mountain that's slightly brighter than the rest, that's light coming through from the inside. Get an elytra and fly straight into that snow. You'll pass right through into the base. If your friend is a locked door, make your own redstone mechanism to open it. nothing is stopping you from bypassing whatever complex system they made inside the walls by just placing down and activating a redstone block against the door. If your friend's base has its own private nether portal, then use that as a way in. Find the coordinates to the connected portal in the nether by taking the overworld coordinates of the base and dividing the X and the Z by 8. That's where the portal in the nether will be, giving you a back door into the protected fortress. Silverfish don't seem that dangerous at first, but it's not uncommon to find yourself in a stronghold severely outnumbered in just a few seconds. But silverfish only spawn when a player deals damage to them, meaning you can just use lava or a flint and steel to totally avoid spawning them. Evokers are a super powerful mob despite never hitting you themselves, but you can actually predict what spell they're gonna cast next. If he sends out white particles, it means he's spawning vexes, and you can run and get some hits in. But if they're grey, it means he's summoning fangs, and you should probably run! And before you head through the portal, make sure you bring some TNT, as you can use it to farm ender pearls really easily. Simply build a pillar above a small pit like this, and stare at as many endermen as possible. Once you've trapped enough, place a TNT down and light it for near infinite pearls. You can even hold a looting sword while the TNT explodes to get even more. But what if you're like me, you struggle to even find the stronghold? Speedrunners have a solution. Once you're fairly sure you're nearby, try throwing just a single eye and placing a line of blocks until you think you've run past it. Then head to the side of a line and throw another eye. Follow the path until you hit the blocks from before, mine down, and you'll be right where the stronghold is. You know those huge annoying trees you sometimes get from oak saplings? If you place a single block 7 blocks above the sapling, they'll never grow again. You can also use this setup to only get the big ones if you're a psychopath. But how exactly do you get lots of bone meal fast if you can't find a cherry blossom biome? One of the best supplies for this is the soul sand valleys in the nether. You should be breaking each bone block you see here since they give 9 bone meal apiece. Couple this up with the farming techniques I told you about, and you could dominate your entire server with the amount of food you'd have. Yeah, I'm starting to think I like food a bit too much. What if I told you that it's possible to have ladders without having any ladders? For some reason, Minecraft freaks out when it comes to scaffoldings and lets you jump on their edge. This means you can spam the spacebar and get all the way to the top super fast. However, this isn't limited to scaffoldings alone. You can do this with powdered snow too. And getting down is incredibly simple. Just hold crouch while you're on the edge. Bad idea. If you thought that it rains because of clouds, you're a noob. Above the first set of clouds you see is another set of clouds that you can't see. According to Notch, this grey area is actually where the rain actually comes from. What's even weirder is that the rain falls 1 block into the void layer. Yeah, this was definitely never meant to happen. Let's be honest, the mob vote is not great nowadays. Sure, back in 2016 it seemed cool, but now just about everyone is upset that their favorite mob did not get added. And because of this, these are the mobs we will never get to see in Minecraft. Meerkats, ostriches, vultures, moo blooms, iceologers, glares, copper golems, rascals, tough golems. All of these would have been amazing additions to the game, but Mojang can only add 1. Rest in peace, mob vote losers. Blazes have become a really easy mob to defeat since the addition of shields. Shields made blazes weak against your defenses. However, all the way back before mob votes even existed, we would meet Mob D. Yes, that is the only name it ever got. Mob D would have been very similar to a blaze, but with shields surrounding it to make it just a little bit more challenging than regular blazes. This would have not only made the game more challenging, but diversified the nether mob ecosystem a bit better than it currently is. Minecraft's newest update, the Trails and Tales update, is yet to come out as of the time of writing. However, they missed such a huge opportunity to add these next mobs into the game. Let's start with the Key Golem, a small passive mob that you could have protected throughout your trial in order to unlock the door at the end. Next up is the Redstone Monstrosity, a truly terrifying boss that could have given the trial chambers a unique boss to battle against. And finally, the Squall Golem, a mob that would have been challenging to defeat, but could have dropped some really useful items for your trial. If only Mojang added the Minecraft Dungeons mob to Minecraft, the game would be so much better. I bet you've never seen a chicken coop more realistic than this. The chickens even lay eggs in real nests. Put water in a little pit with a wood slab in it. Add a picture frame with an egg attached, and then place a horn coral fan. The water keeps the coral alive and looking like a straw nest. Build a coop around it and fill it with chickens. Now that's realistic. Oh no, too real! Too real! I've frozen Steve in ice and won't let him go until I'm put in the Minecraft movie! Okay, it's not actually Steve. It's an armor stand with a full set of armor and Steve's head. Use pistons to push ice into Steve, encasing him completely. Now shh, the movie studio doesn't know it's fake. Put me in the Oh, I'm sorry, it's fake. I didn't mean it! Have you ever seen meat this big? This mangrove block is red on the inside. Put it above a campfire, connected with light lightning rods to a stone fence to it looks like it's spit roasting. Add end rods to look like bones sticking out. Oh, it looks so delicious. I'm gonna take a bite. Ow! It tastes like wood! This super slim ladder can fit in any home. You can actually put the ladders on the side of a trapdoor, but this hack stuck them on top of each other all the way to the ceiling for an extra slim ladder. Just don't use the door when I'm on it, okay? Ah! This spooky hack lets you make a world full of dead trees and wilting grass. The tree trunks are made with fence posts, and the leaves are mangrove roots. The grass isn't grass, it's podzol. See? It's all fake! There's nothing dead here! A stained glass block with a trapdoor on top and a tripwire hook on the front looks just like a lemonade dispenser. Build a lemonade stand around that, with plant pots for cups to look super convincing.
Oh, selling lemonade on my turf, are ya? Nobody sells on Big J's turf!
If you've ever tried shooting through a door, you know the arrows won't go through the hole of the door, even though there's clearly enough space for an arrow to fit through. But with items like pistons, chains, or a slanted staircase, you'll be able to shoot right through. So yeah, make your doors with chains so you can shoot intruders. This game makes no sense. Make sure you shoot the dogs. Want to be immortal in Minecraft? Well, there's a game-breaking tactic in the game which makes it impossible for you to die. An emo's worst nightmare. To do this, just craft a boat, place it on the ground, and get in and out of it really quickly. It'll trick Minecraft into thinking you're still inside of the boat. From there, you can jump off high buildings, live underwater, and blow yourself up without taking any damage at all. And the best thing is, if you ever get trapped or get lost, you can always just press shift to teleport back into the boat. Now that's pretty cool, depending on your age. And if you like Minecraft, pretty subjective really. But even cooler than an immortal glitch is a building that will literally morph you into an unkillable soldier. If you're familiar with anarchy servers, you have definitely heard of 2B2T. Anarchy servers have absolutely no rules, meaning you can do anything. Rob banks, grief bases, or kill lots of dogs. But the one thing you cannot do is building a lag machine. But obviously, players decided to break it, building this huge structure which was over 100 blocks tall and looked amazing. However, it didn't go to plan, as instead players near the machine had their hitboxes disappear, making them literally immortal. This machine was mysteriously removed, never to be seen or spoken about again. If everything in Minecraft is a cube, it only makes sense that the sun and moon should be too. While Notch made them into squares in an old version of the game, we can take this one step further by using the cubic moon and sun packs. This makes it so that your world's day and night cycles are controlled by these massive cubes, although you don't want to look at them directly. Ah! My eyes! I can proudly say that I've never been scared of mobs in Minecraft, but this kind of pride goes down the drain after using Gray's mob overhaul. The simple texture pack makes every mob look like a Frankenstein creation, from the skeletons to the zombies to striders to the wither. Every single mob is going to force you to either take a quick trip to the washroom or just set your monitor on fire. Did I also mention that creepers actually look creepy now instead of looking like snot balls? A fish out of water bounces and flops, but you can actually get them jumping way higher. On a slime block, they'll gain height, sometimes up to 17 blocks high. The world-famous creeper is the face of Minecraft, but they actually have a secret past. They weren't designed. They were an accident! Like my birth. The developers were trying to make pigs, but instead of making them long, they made them extra tall. This created the frightening creature we know today. Did you know that spiders never touch the ground? That's because of how the model is made. Even though it's on the floor, the legs never actually reach the block below it. A secret, dirty little trick you can do is build an end portal above your friend's bed. So when they respawn, they'll instantly teleport to the end and will have to live there until the bed or the portal is broken. If the building you're breaking into is full of death traps, just stock up on totems of undying. It's way easier than trying to avoid everything. Just take the hit and keep on moving. Players will often have secret tunnels that lead far away to their stash. If you X-ray by crawling and pressing a slab into your face with a piston, you can seek out small separate rooms filled with blocks. Dig toward those because they're less likely to be well defended and will have a corridor straight into the base. A server owner can use creative to build a house out of bedrock. Break through with the latest bedrock cracking machine. Using a piston, a trapdoor, some TNT, obsidian, and a lever, you can glitch the game to destroying the bedrock and letting you in. They say the safest base is a hidden one. So, how do you break in if you can't even find it? Look for the FPS drop. If you turn on the FPS counter using the settings on your PC or FN plus F3 on a Mac, you can see how fast your game is running. If you're out in the wilderness, the FPS should be high. But if there's a bunch of entities nearby, like chests, players, or armor stands, the FPS will take a slight dip. That means the base is nearby. Start digging! This insane block placement glitch lets you climb invisible ghost blocks. If you swap a block into to your offhand and place it at the same time, it will exist in the world but be invisible. You can climb walls without a trace. But even better, if you use slime blocks, it will launch you into the air, letting you scale tall towers at high speed. Speedrunners even have ways to make nether portals instantly without diamonds. Find a lava pool like this, then place a block here with water next to it. Break that and place blocks exactly like this on the side of the pool. Place water right here and place lava in the formation of a portal around the side. Remove the water and you've got an instant nether portal with just a single bucket. There's also a way to do it in an underwater ravine, but I'll leave that one to the pros. It's not because I can't do it, okay? Wither skeletons are one of the most annoying mobs to farm in Minecraft. They don't even spawn half the time. But if you're in single player, try lowering your render distance and simulation distance to 5 chunks. This will force all mobs to spawn where you can see them, letting you find farm skulls way easier. Once you're ready to fight the wither, whatever you do, don't spawn it above ground. Trust me, I learned the hard way. Instead, dig a 40-block long tunnel underground and spawn it in a chamber at the end. If you stay at a safe distance, you'll be able to take it down super easily without getting hit once. Well, good players will. I can't tell you the amount of times I've missed out on a shipwreck because of not being able to see through the damn ocean. However, this is easily fixable with a little bit of help. Back in 1.19, if you set your camera at just the right angle on the water surface, you could see through the entire ocean and find anything on the seabed. But Mallow, isn't this technically X-ray? What else did you expect, nerd? You will never believe where the sound design for gas came from. Everyone's favorite Minecraft songmaker, C418, had a cat that often made disturbed noises while it slept. During the development phase, he thought that these noises would be the perfect tracks to use for the gas. No wonder they seem so disturbing. For years, Mojang has been fixing thousands of bugs, but there is one that is detrimental to the entire game. What is it, you might ask? Cookies don't have sugar in their crafting recipe! I would actually be better off eating cement-laced with TNT gunpowder than cookies without sugar. Is that even a cookie at that point? For this one, I want you to look at the sun very closely. Hey, no, not in real life! Not just some crazy ideas back in the day. From a red dragon to a sky dimension, there was one change that was so weird, no one could have guessed why it was even implemented. I'm talking about Notch's decision to make the sun round. In fact, he did exactly that for one beta pre-release. Weird decision for a game based on literal cubes. We have dogs in Minecraft, and we have cats, but we, for some reason, do not have the third most popular pet, fish. Now, I know, we do have fish, but we do not have the ability to tame fish. Sure, you can trap them in a 1x1 aquarium, but that does not feel the same as having dogs or cats within the game. Mojang, please add a fish that I can tame. Jungles feel a little bit lacking in the mob department, as it only has 2 native mobs to the jungle, being the panda and the parrot. However, this is because Mojang refuses to add this next mob into the game. Monkeys would have made a very interesting addition to Minecraft. They would be able to swing from branch to branch, and would most likely have come with a banana item in order to tame them. I can understand why monkeys aren't in the game though, as this sounds like a coding nightmare. For a long time, caves were boring until Minecraft introduced the Caves and Cliffs updates, but to me at least, caves have once again become a bit dull. However, I believe that this next mob could change that. This is the Ghost Miner, a mob that Minecraft actually considered adding for quite a while into the game. These ghost miners would have been found underground and could have brought you to secret loot, dungeons, or even ancient cities, meaning this would have been arguably the most useful passive mob in existence. They could have also added a corrupted version for the ancient cities that were hostile. Since it did not make footsteps, it wouldn't have alerted the warden, but you attacking it could have. We have polar bears in Minecraft, and we have pandas in Minecraft, so why do we not have variants of bears for forests? The obvious choice would be to add in bears like the grizzly bear or the black bear, but there are so many more options that could be added. Well, I do actually know the reason these weren't added. Since polar bears and pandas are incredibly hard to find, Mojang do not need to worry about people going up to these animals thinking they are safe. However, grizzlies and black bears are actually relatively easy to find in real life. But I'll be honest, Mojang is really overthinking this one. I'm bouncing on a real working trampoline. It's standing on wooden fence posts, has a ladder up to the bouncy slime blocks covered with carpet, and surrounded in colorful blocks for a frame. The net around the trampoline is made using chains and rods to create structure just like a real trampoline. Now, check how high I could jump! This is the smallest Minecraft house with everything you could need. The walls are trapdoors, there's a furnace and crafting table in the ground, and a bed on top of them. 2 blocks deep, you put some water with a single block farm on top. There's a chest in the ground and a loom beside that. With trapdoors on top, you have a single block of space to crawl around in and access everything. No! My entire home is gone! on! This is a regular nether portal, and this is a heather nortal. Wait, what? While Minecraft has a history of weird nether portals, there's never been anything quite as weird as this one. Literally. To do this, you need an update suppressor, which is a structure that allows you to force skip block updates by basically bugging the game out of functioning. And let's be honest, I have no idea how you do this, and you probably don't care either. So after some off-camera building, here it is, a heather nortal. Now that's one of life's greatest achievements. When Mojang added XP, they expected you to farm it by killing edible mobs, or dogs, and leveling up the normal way. However, what Mojang didn't expect is if you put a ton of mobs all in the same place, they will die of entity cramming. You can get that sweet, sweet XP. And with Sweeping Edge, you can kill the rest of them with one hit, making it possible to create a self-sustaining mob farm that just feeds you XP. So that's how McDonald's works. So if you really want to break Minecraft, I got something for you. If you create a world with the only blocks being ladders, they will defy logic and not let you climb as intended, making you fall indefinitely into the void. This is probably the most useless thing you could ever do. But hey, from a distance, this looks pretty cool. And, oh wait. My game crashed. That was worth. I feel very accomplished. While Gray's mob overhaul is horrifying, we can upgrade that to trauma-inducing by using spawn animations. Instead of appearing out of thin air like they usually do, mobs now dig themselves out of the ground. Even though this is scary, making mobs scarier than they are right now is something that Mojang should have added to the game long ago. The current textures for leaves look as bad as a bald man sticking chunks of hair on his head. Yeah, it's disgusting. However, better leaves can fight this absolute tragedy by making the leaves look like, well, actual leaves by adding depth to each individual part of the leaf block. It was this simple? The nether portal Mojang designed just feels empty. By that, I mean it's like someone threw up a purple poster. However, we can see its true potential by using the mystic nether portal. Not only does this give a massive texture overhaul, but also adds these ancient letters into the portal animations itself. Fun fact, the symbols you see are the actual letters that Minecraft uses throughout the game, the standard galactic alphabet. But that's not even the best part. Your portal can be green, orange, or even red, depending on whether or not you use traditional texture packs. The blue axolotl is the rarest version of that mob in Minecraft, but the announcement for Caves and Cliffs Part 1 shows off the green axolotl. This was an early version of the axolotl that never made it into the release game, making it even rarer than the blue one. The heart of the sea is this blue orb, but it holds a secret. When fully activated as a conduit, the heart opens, showing a staring orange eye. This ancient fact is from even before Minecraft was made. It turns out the original apple sprite in Minecraft is from a previous game made by Notch, called Legend of the Chambered. These walls are too thick. Better use a TNT cannon. Make an obsidian rectangle that's 7 blocks long, with an open end toward the wall. Add a block up on the left side here. Put a water block at the back and a slab at the front. Set TNT on the slab and up to but not including the water block. Then put 2 levers with redstone. One is for the TNT on the ground, the other for the slab TNT. Activate the first and watch them flow. Then before they explode, activate the other. It launches forward and smashes the base. Reload with TNT and do it again until you breach the walls. You can ignite TNT from miles away with this glitch. If you attach a fishing rod to something and walk into the nether, the game will glitch and your fishing rod will have infinite range. Use it to set off TNT next to the enemy base, from as far away as you can, and they'll never know it was you. If you run over and pretend to help, you can get into the base and take what you like. This base is covered in lava. Clear it with sand and scaffolding. Make a square of sand with a block square of sand in the corner. Each block will sink down and delete the lava in that space. Fill up to the surface so you can walk on it, then delete the top block of that one extra sand in the corner. Replace it with scaffolding and right-click on it to fill the rest of the lava. The scaffolding doesn't burn and deletes the lava. Dig the sand block down and repeat the process until the base is revealed. If the base is in the air and you don't have elytra, make a man cannon instead. Put some obsidian around a ton of TNT and minecarts. If you have blast protection, a shield, and stand on a higher level than the TNT, you can survive and still get launched way into the air. Hit yourself with punch arrows and you can get real distance onto that floating building. Cakes aren't really the best food source, but they do work as a great decoration. But did you know they're even better now with the addition of candles? Now you can place a candle on top of the cake to add just a little bit extra color to the room. For redstoners, slimes are super valuable, but they can be so hard to find. Swamps are usually the best place to look for them, but sometimes you'll go just to be met with nothing. Well, it turns out that's because slime spawns in swamps are actually based on the moon. So if the swamp is dry, try waiting a few nights until it's full, and the swamp will be covered in the things. It can be really hard to find exactly where the buried treasure is once you're nearby. The map isn't really clear, but if you think you know the general area, hit F3 and make these two numbers say 9 by moving to the right block. Dig down and voila! 7 fish and an emerald. Great. The best way to move villagers isn't to use minecarts or boats. It's actually just to use a bell. Villagers will all flock to a bed whenever a bell is rung. So if you remove all nearby beds and place just one wherever you want them to head to, they'll go straight there as soon as the bell is rung. Clever, isn't it? What's even smarter is this invisible elevator that uses wind. Crazy, right? You didn't see that. Okay, fine, it's not a wind elevator, but it's still really cool. If you place a bubble stream in a corner behind 2 honey blocks and then maps in item frames on the honey blocks, you'll create a hidden elevator that really does look like magic. There is only one thing worse than a zombie with a weapon. A zombie with 2 weapons! Or actually 2 pieces of armor in this case. Because of a bug in 1.8.9, all mobs that could wear armor began holding it in their hands instead. But the weirdest part is that they would only hold leggings and boots. Wait, so does that mean they don't have pants on? The skeleton just got a million times scarier. You've never paid attention to this, but there is something horribly wrong about buried treasure chests. For starters, they generate a chunk coordinates 9 on both the Z and X coordinates. However, the weirdest part is that you'll always find them facing towards the east. I'm never gonna be able to unsee this. The next time you decide to use Riptide without an Elytra, you might want to think again. This is because full damage stacks up for all the time that you're in the air, meaning no matter how softly you land, you're gonna be unaliving yourself in seconds. What's the most horrifying mob in the game? The Warden, Ender Dragon, or even Enderman? Nope, it's parrots. On the surface, they might seem innocent, but in reality, they're beasts. For starters, parrots in Minecraft are coded to gather around every mob they see because Mojang thought it would be close to their real-life nature. Yeah, maybe Jeb should be surrounded by 1,000 dancing parrots and then decide whether that's fun. This is so creepy! Stop staring at me! You might already know that any items you throw on a cactus get destroyed immediately. However, there is one block that can even make the almighty cactus seem harmless, and that is snow. Snow will never get destroyed when placed next to a cactus. So if you're really afraid of cacti, you can use this trick to have a cactus force field. Imagine a mob in Minecraft that was larger than the Ender Dragon, Wither, and the Warden combined. Well, this is the whale, a huge behemoth of a mob that would have just added some diversity to the deep oceans. This would have been a really cool addition for the oceans, as it would have given them a bit more exploration, similar to games like Subnautica. However, I can understand Mojang not wanting to teach kids to hunt whales. Armadillos are a cool addition to Minecraft and all, but honestly, I wanted the penguin. The penguin would have been another mob that could have been found in ice-related biomes, which at the moment only have one mob, being the polar bear. I just think the penguin would have been a far better addition for diversifying the game, as opposed to the armadillo. Plus, Dark Armor is a stupid addition. You can't stop me! Look at this little baby temple for little baby treasures. It's made of all the same materials, taken from a desert temple, and buttons are used for the details and patterns that are normally made with whole blocks. Let's climb inside and get those treasures! Oh wait, a little baby TNT. Oh god, I'm gonna die! This hack uses dark and light wood signs surrounded in wood frame to make a pool table. Put green carpet over the signs and only the top can be seen, looking like pool cues. Now, if only I had friends to play with. Swing got a real swing that actually swings! This uses a secret minecart underground with powered rails angled up on either end of the swing distance. The minecart has a boat in it with a bunny and a strider, both with leads attached to the posts built around the swing. Put a saddle on the strider and then turn it invisible as you ride it. The saddle looks like it's actually swinging by the leads. I hope I haven't made this too fast. This automatic fireplace magically knows when you're around. Skulk sensors in the floor activate dispensers with flint and steel in them. They light netherrack blocks that burn and light the room. Then when you leave, another sensor activates the dispenser with water inside, putting out the fire as you leave the room. Wait, why did it turn on? Is there a ghost in here? Have you ever seen amazing graffiti and wanted it in your world? I made this amazing graffiti using concrete powder placed in the wall, and the spray cans are colored candles to match the colors on the wall. Wait a minute, I didn't make this graffiti. Hey, you dumb kids, get away from my house! On Minecraft Bedrock Edition, you can create a literal piece of art. Using a command block to place hundreds of end crystals, the crystals will actually stack, creating something that doesn't even look like Minecraft. Just make sure you don't run into it, or walk, or crawl. Just stay away! Over the years of Minecraft, farms have gotten more and more advanced. We went from farming melons to a fully functional wither farm. Using TNT, arrows, and insanely precise timing, these people built a machine able to get arrows to supersonic speeds, allowing you to one-shot the wither and farm its resources while AFK. In fact, there's even a functional wolf farm, which offers a new home to live dogs! Just turn it on and there we go. Hey, what happened to all my dogs? I didn't kill them. I did not. If you're persistent and dumb enough to cover your whole world with hoppers, your game will become extremely buggy, lagging, glitching, and as a bonus, if you drop a beacon onto one of these, your game will literally die. That is my grandma. Just kidding, she's right here.
It's me, the grandma. I'm alive.
See you, Grandma. That being said, do not put beacons into random hoppers. Not only are beacons valuable, but there's a small chance of your computer exploding. If you want to destroy your world in a stylish way, you can try and place a bunch of iron trapdoors, then add skulk sensor blocks below that. From there, just blow it the hell up, or fly above it and drop a single block into it in a super stylish manner before seeing your game slowly die.
You're very weird.
Shut up, Grandma! Let's set the scene. You hear the music, you're feeling nostalgic. So you go back to 1.9 beta Minecraft to load your old world. Then you realize something is terribly wrong, and it's not just your dating life. The Ender portal looks like... Seriously, what the hell is this? This block was the old Ender portal frame, and it looked really messed up. Sort of like an ice block mixed with grass. The Ender portal looks a lot better now, and boy am I glad they changed it. Don't be so hasty with enchantments. Some have hidden properties like quick charge. At level 6 and above, crossbows with this enchantment stops the reload animation at the first frame, which is before the crossbow is loaded, and so won't load at all. Here's a trick that will freak your friends out. Carpet can actually be placed on any non-air block, even lava. It's tricky and dangerous, but you can walk on lava like it's nothing. It's easiest with moss carpet, as that doesn't burn. A secret base can be hidden underwater, and it can be very hard to see. The easiest way to find it is to get in a boat and do this weird vision trick. When in the boat on the water, if you go into third-person view, you can angle the camera to just about touch the water surface. The vision will glitch and show you everything under the water without that underwater filter, making any odd structure or entity easy to find. Watch out for pitfall traps. If the floor disappears under you and the trap is revealed, do this crazy flying glitch. To do it, have the game in windowed mode, and when the floor falls away, right-click on the window bar at the top. You'll freeze in the air. You'll need a fellow home invader with you to put a block under you. So when you click on the game to unfreeze, you'll land safe and sound. Trap avoided! If the floor of your friend's base is only slab, then dig a tunnel under the ground of the building. Put a single water source block to have a little water flow through. If you ride a boat in that one block space, the water will bob you up through the floor and even let you interact with objects inside, like the button to open the door. Boats are amazing and can be used to break into buildings in a lot of ways. Put one on the roof and you can phase through by jumping in and out of the boat with perfect timing. Your friend might put an Elder Guardian near their base, giving you mining fatigue, making it way harder to break blocks to get in. That's why you should always bring buckets of milk. But if you don't have that, set up a bed spawn nearby and kill yourself! Mining fatigue is a 5-minute cooldown, so you'll have plenty of time to break in and loot the place before it can hit you with it again. Sometimes you just need a ton of filler blocks for a project. So what's the fastest block to farm in bulk? Well, you can obviously build gigantic wood, cobblestone, or moss farms. But if you just want something simple, try trapping a snowman and using stone shovels to instantly obtain hundreds of snow blocks you can use for whatever your heart desires. If you've ever built an Enderman farm, you know it can be pretty tiring to constantly click on Enderman to get XP. But did you know that splash water bottles actually hurt Enderman? That means if you get them low with full damage, you can just chuck one every so often to gain tons of XP and infinite satisfaction. I could literally do this for hours. Speaking of splash potions, have you ever noticed that you don't get quite as much effect time as the potion says? Well, that's probably because you're throwing them at the ground or a wall. If you throw them straight up so they land on your head, you'll get the full advertised time. Villager noises are almost as big as Minecraft itself at this point. That's why you'd be surprised to know that until Java Edition 1.6.1, they made no noises at all. Trying to imagine a silent villager is almost as bad as imagining a white Enderman. That's racist. Night vision is one of the most useful enchantments in the game, but use this incorrectly and you'll be getting yourself into a fever dream. Oddly enough, looking at the horizon with this effect active makes it so that the entire sky flashes with different colors. Would you believe me if I told you Minecraft came out 17 years before its release in 2011? I'm talking about Minecraft 3D that was released April 1st, 1994. If you haven't figured it out already, this was an April Fool's joke by Mojang, but I have to say, it looks amazing! Did you know it's possible to burn yourself to death underwater? I don't know why you'd want to do this, but just place a cauldron filled with lava and sit inside.
Mallow, how did you even find out about this?
Hey, listen here. Stop asking so many questions. Nether stars are incredibly important for crafting beacons, but there's something about these objects that you never knew. These are in fact explosion-proof, and this makes sense because they need to survive the wither's death. But that's not the best part. They are still not immune to lava, cacti, and anvils. Wait, hold up! A nether star can survive TNT, but not my diamonds? Minecraft has had a massive run of bugs and items that should never have existed. But there was one that was far more insane than anything you'll ever see. In one of the earliest alphas in 2010, pressing F4 would allow you to spawn in nether portals. What was Mojang even thinking? Did you know you can make TNT blocks freak out completely? By placing an anvil on top of TNT before lighting it up, you can make it do 0 damage. You can do this for massive amounts of TNT and give your friends a heart attack. Or if you want TNT to explode underwater, place a block of sand above it and then light it up. And you might be wondering how this works. Well, you'd be surprised to know I don't know either. One of the most hyped features for the game was the sky dimension that Notch wanted to add during early development. But unfortunately, this never happened. However, there was something similar in its very first year of launch. In the in-depth version, you could set your map type to floating island. This was similar to the buffet world types we've seen recently, and the entire surface used to be covered with bedrock. Yeah, we definitely need this back. Did you know that you can tap into the ultimate power of the end crystal? This cool power generator design is built around an end crystal with stained glass to obscure or make it seem even more vibrant with power. Oxidized copper has an industrial yet sci-fi green color to really show it's high tech. Just make sure you don't touch the— Did you know that you can use signs to hide secret messages without writing on them? They're a little taller than a block high, so you can put carpet on top of them and they poke through. Some people use this to make patterns, but you can use them to hide secret words and messages that most players will never notice. I bet you've always wanted a huge house plant, no? Well, too bad! If you put a lectern as the base of your plant and then build the greenery on top of that, then the stand of the lectern will have a thinner center. It breaks up the shape of the plant for a really fashionable addition to the home. I bet my neighbor isn't as cool as this, huh? Oh. Look at this cute little plushie! Just dig a hole 1 block deep, push 4 armor strands into that place in an X formation. Equip them with leather chest pieces, and then plant black wool on top. The wool will turn the leather black to match, and then you can put a banner in front to act as the face. Oh, so cute. I shall defend it with my life! Yeah! Hey, you ever wanted infinite TNT? If so, here's the solution. If you build the following contraption, you'll be able to duplicate TNT forever! Something about the coral reef glitches the TNT, allowing for a devastating bug. This is something commonly used in Minecraft warfare, creating flying machines with infinite TNT to nuke your enemy's base. So if you want to break Minecraft with a bang, try this out sometime. Everyone knows you can't place water in the nether. Or can you? If you build a time machine and travel all the way back to Minecraft version 1.6, you'll need to stock up on ice blocks. Why? Well, my friend, in this version, if you break ice in the nether, you get water, allowing you to technically turn the nether into a water park. My life is finally complete. And I've got a cool time machine to boot, so that's pretty cool, yeah? I think it's cool, yeah. The light of a beacon looks great from close or far. A cool secret aspect is how it reacts to stained glass. Each glass put in the way of the beam changes the color, making millions of possible shades. Here's a fact you might not know. The illusioner can't handle boats. They get so confused that when shooting their bows, the arrows go backwards. In the original trailer for Minecraft, way back in 2011, this mysterious other variant of Steve was present. He's not available as a choice in the launcher, so this is the only example of him that exists. The end wasn't always where it is now. During early developments, the end was supposed to be a sky dimension. Secretly, they saw the sky dimension as heaven, and the nether as hell. Uh-oh! Shulker sensors have been placed all over this minefield. One noise, and it all goes up! You could sneak by, but you can easily get caught. So you've got to move fast. The answer is to jump and sneak. If you constantly jump the entire way and press the sneak button, just as you hit the ground each time, you can go fast and stay quiet enough for the sensors not to notice you. This next trick will let you fly up to high buildings without TNT or elytra. The trick is to get your own pet shulker. You need to catch them in a boat or minecart that leads to the end gate out of the end city, and eventually through the main end portal into the overworld. Row them away in a boat toward the target base and let yourself get cursed with levitation. You'll fly up into the sky, and with a good enough levitation, it won't matter how high the base is. Use subterfuge. If your friend is in need of a certain mob, like a particular villager or perhaps the ultra-rare brown panda, get one for yourself and offer to bring it to their base. You can lead it over, and you'll get access to the base as you bring the creature into its new home. Once inside, steal as many items as you can. It's fair payment for such a rare panda. An endangered species, you know. Fencing has been used to cover this entire opening. There's no way in without breaking it, unless you get a trapdoor. The crawl mechanic actually changes your hitbox, and with a fence like this, if you set up a trapdoor right next to it and make yourself crawl, you'll be halfway through the fence already. Just keep moving through and you'll slide right in without breaking a single block. And since the addition of deep slate and all the new caves, strip mining has pretty much become a thing of the past. But it can still be pretty hard to find caves. Thankfully, there's a few ways to make it way easier. Firstly, this number on the F3 screen shows you exactly how many air blocks are ahead of you, meaning the higher this number is, the more likely it is there's a cave in that direction. And to make it easier to find exactly where it is, try turning on subtitles. Not only will it make it easier to see which sounds are being played, but it'll even give you arrows pointing in the direction they're coming from. Raiding in cities can get pretty dangerous very quickly if you find yourself floating high above the ground, and that's why the best players know to always carry chorus fruit. If you find yourself in this perilous position, eating one will instantly teleport you down to the ground safely. Just make sure you still got the levitation effects. It doesn't go well otherwise. Sometimes a regular fuse of a TNT just isn't long enough to get you to safety. So if that's the case, try crouching and setting the block on fire instead. Instead of instantly lighting, it'll burn for a bit before lighting. Trust me, this isn't a troll. Trust me. I'll never do anything like that. Anyway, did you know trains actually exist in Minecraft? And I'm not talking about minecarts. Well, technically they're called caravans, but if you attach a lead to just one llama, all nearby llamas will quickly run into formation and start following you around. With enough patience, you can breed llamas to have 15 slots of storage space, meaning you can carry around 150 shulkers worth of items with just a single lead. And when you're done with these llamas, if you attach the least one to a fence and then dispatch it, it'll lead the lead on the fence, giving you an extra bit of detail to decorate with. No matter how many are nearby or how close they're watching you, if you one-shot a zombified piglin using something like a Smite 5 sword, other piglins won't get mad at you. Just make sure you don't have sweeping edge on too. Walls don't have much of a use other than, being walls. And to be fair, nobody even really uses them for that either. Either way, they actually have a use in Redstone. With a setup like this, you can place a single wall right here to instantly send a signal hundreds of blocks down. I know that doesn't sound that insane, but I know like 1% of you guys are freaking out right now. Everyone loves a white Christmas, and you can make one whenever you want by simulating snowfall just outside the window. This is done with a carpet duplicator just above the window, constantly breaking pieces, causing the particles to fall down. Inside the house, it looks just like a snowy day. Wait, but I'm in the desert! Everyone loves a good shower, and this is the easiest way to build one. So many tutorials make a shower super complicated, but these are easy little build hacks that anyone can do. Just put a button connected to a dispenser with water in it over some stylish quartz stairs and a sea lantern floor. Put stained glass to protect your modesty and a banner for a towel to dry up. Okay, so villagers aren't the smartest mobs, but did you know they're immortal? Just kidding, did you really believe that? But they kind of are, because if you make a glass container and have a villager go in for a little nap, you can surround him all with lava and watch him die! Wait, how the f did he survive? Really, Mojang? I'm trying to have fun here and be an evil man. Ghasts are annoying. Let's be honest, they're ugly, hurt your eyes, they suck. That is until you use them to turn them into a ghast turret. Yes, you heard that right. You can trap ghasts and turn them into your own turret machine. By clicking fast, you're able to direct the fireballs to wherever you want, making it the perfect defense for infinite TNT flying machines. And also just destroying your friend's house, and their dogs, and their dogs. Trust me, bro, it wasn't me. My grandma can vouch.
I hate you!
See? Have you ever noticed how item drops in Minecraft are always vertical? I'm no Einstein, but how can a piece of armor stay upright? Well, item physics makes this much more realistic by making all items drop horizontal. Not only that, it also manipulates how items lay on the ground to trick you into thinking that they are actually in contact with the blocks below them. I love playing Minecraft for realism. Brewing charts will be the end of me. Why couldn't the devs have just told us what potion each item makes? Kind of like what Alchemy Helper does by adding what kind of potion will be made if you brew an item. This even goes as far as adding extra information to flowers to make it easier to craft suspicious stews. This spooky fact runs a chill down my spine. Because if you play the music discs 5, 11, and 13, after 5, 11, and 13 seconds, they combine to play the sounds of a survivor's terrifying story. This cool trick lets you explode TNT underwater. If you put a sand block on top and then ignite the TNT, the block will fall into it, making sure the water doesn't stop the explosion. Use this crazy secret to spook your friends. There is no limit to the amount of bats that can hang from one block. For other animals, the game stops this from happening, but you can pack the bats in as much as you want. Stick them in the walls and watch your friends unleash them all by accident. Creatures from the nether hate the water, except for the magma cubes. They can swim just fine in it without getting hurt. Worried about invisible players? Well, this little fact might save you, because enchanting tables will react to you even if you're invisible. Llamas are amazing, and even more so when they hit the water. Unlike pigs or horses, llama actually float on top of the water like a boat when you ride them. If you're a psycho and actually play Bedrock, this chunk visualizer is the only thing that can keep you sane. Not only that, it even displays the coordinates without having to bring up this ugly menu that takes up half the screen.
But Mallow, can't we just use the F3 shortcut?
Stop! Bedrock players aren't allowed an opinion! Imagine if Minecraft had a setting where you can make all the utility tweaks you ever needed. Better textures, a real-time clock, a coordinate HUD, everything! That's That's why Vanilla Tweaks is the most overpowered mod to exist in the game. This is the ultimate all-in-one pack that allows you to modify any texture and download utility within seconds. Most importantly, you can rehaul the way your entire game looks with tons of block textures. Look at my massive crop field! Can you even tell which of these are ready to be harvested? Yeah, not even Herobrine would be able to do that. Fortunately though, Easy Farm can be outlining fully grown crops in white. This is especially useful for nether warts because they all look the same for God's sake! Mobs in Minecraft just seem to plop over as they die, and this is awfully boring! Something like torturable health bars is far better. The Warden loses an ear, the Enderman starts looking like he went through war, and jaws for skeletons fall off. Fleshier mobs like the zombie and husk lose parts of their head. Wait, this game just became PG-18? Pillagers are a team, and even the Ravagers share traits with them, as the first and third Ravager hurt sounds are actually the Pillager hurt sound, pitched to sound much lower. This secret TNT technique can save your life. If you place TNT on a slab, the explosion damages much fewer blocks around it, making it much less scary to handle. You could even have TNT decorate your home, if you're brave. Fishing yanks fish out of the water at speed, but it's actually not an automatic animation. The fish are actually flying through the air, and if you step aside, they'll zip right past you. Use this secret to launch fish at your friends, slapping them in the face at high speed. Speaking of speed, normal slimes are slow, but this slime will catch you. Slime speed is based on slime size, so size 8 and above goes faster than even a player sprinting. Want a chair you can actually sit in? Try this secret technique by guiding a llama to your house, disguising it as a chair, and turning the llama invisible. All that will be left will be the carpet, which looks great as a cushion. Here's a fun fact that also happens in real life! In the game, axolotls will not follow you unless you have a live fish in a bucket. If the fish is just dead in your hand, they won't care. This is because real axolotls only eat live fish, and the developers wanted to show that in the game. Squid can survive out of water for about 15 seconds before it runs out of oxygen. But there's a secret fact here. The fact that the squid has a special change to its animation, slowing down as the oxygen runs out. Let's take torturable health bars a step further by using Strizen's health bars. Although having each mob display their health feels like it's cheating, it's an awesome addition for newer players and could even potentially save you from unaliving a villager or two. Let's use X-Ray! Wait, hear me out. There are tons of illegitimate ways to get X-Ray in the game, but using X-Ray Ultimate is completely okay if you intend to use it in a single-player world. This can be super useful if you're looking for something like ancient debris or emeralds, but are the world's unluckiest player. But this is only for noobs. I haven't used it at all. What else was I supposed to do? Maybe the wrong banner patterns has driven me insane. I wish I'd known about banner pattern clarity much earlier. This allows you to see small symbols on banners, or you put them in a loom to ensure that you don't end up wasting resources. I've missed diamonds hundreds of times at this point, all because this game is way too dark. However, Mining Helper is one of the most OP textures to exist, since it gives every ore a glow-in-the-dark effect. I'm never missing an ore after this. Setting the survival mode to peaceful difficulty will not save you. The fact is, there's one mob that can still attack you in peaceful mode, and that's a llama and its angry spit attack. So don't get on their bad side. You can fly with a rocket and elytra, but the fact is, the best way to fly is to shoot yourself with a slow fall arrow. If you do that, then launch off with a Riptide Trident, you'll reach the top of the world before the slow fall runs out. Then at this insane height, launch your elytra and fly for miles. Baby foxes can't swim, or at least they can for a little bit, but the fact is they're so small that they can't keep their head above water to breathe. Did you know you can create your own skulk biome with this secret technique? The skulk block reacts and spreads when mobs die nearby, so you could make a mob spawner lead onto a skulk catalyst. With every death, the skulk biome will spread with no limit! One fun fact is that you used to be able to feed parrots cookies to tame them. This got changed, and now the cookies will kill the parrot. The reason for this deadly change is that feeding cookies to a parrot in real life is very dangerous, and they didn't want people killing off their real pet birds by accident. It's a fact that golems are the villager's loyal protector, but it's actually possible to witness a golem go on a rampage. Villagers celebrate by launching fireworks, but if they're not safe and a golem gets hit by a firework, it will see the villagers as enemies and wipe them all out. Did you know that if you enchant a trident with loyalty, it will follow you around until it gets into your inventory? Well, what happens when your inventory is full? It actually follows you around like a pet bird. A fact that's obvious, but most people never notice is that endstone is actually an inversion and recolor of cobblestone. It's honestly poetic, where the stone at the end is no different to the stone at the beginning. Mojang missed out on one of the best jokes of the century by not making suspicious sand sus. Additionally, since this pack gives sus blocks such a unique texture, it's impossible to miss them, unless there's an imposter. If you haven't used Zali's potions yet, you're missing out on one of the greatest textures of all time. This gives every kind of potion its own unique texture, and also works for both lingering and splash potions. Mojang, you need to take notes. You might have heard of Faithful, but have you ever used Kingdoms? This is one of the craziest best texture packs to ever exist, as it completely overhauls the game's medieval fantasy version of Minecraft. From the UI to the animals to even the nether, the creators of this pack have missed nothing. Hell, take a look at the striders and I guarantee you won't be sleeping for a few days. This is a must-try. Bow charge animations are straight up boring! Mojang should have done something similar to this bow charger pack instead. This changes the color of the bow as it begins to charge from red to green once fully charged. Nothing hits harder than losing a bow contest to a skeleton. One of the most annoying things is this disgusting overlay once you put on a pumpkin. Luckily for us though, we can fix this easily by using this no pumpkin overlay. With that overlay gone, you can finally see! It's like wearing glasses all over again. Borderless glass is something that we would never have to download. Just look at the difference with and without this pack. It's crazy. The best part is that you don't even need Optifine to run this. Finally, my OCD is fixed. What do you think of when I say degrading tools? No, we aren't going to be yelling at them. This pack makes tools lose parts of their UI models as you use them. This works even for something like the flint and steel. It's a small change, but makes a world of difference.